Cześć! Hello, I'm Layover in Warsaw, the center of Polish politics, to see its most recognizable landmarks, its beautiful churches, and the green parks. As well, experience the city from the high above and going back in history in the old towns and the fortress. Not to forget, seeing its citizens are united in solidarity to support the Ukrainian refugees during the time of need. All under 8 hours, all done safely, inexpensively, and easily.
Under pressure, no more time. Can we make a move? Overthinking, you and I. What do we have to lose?
Witamy, welcome to Warsaw, officially the capital of Poland and its largest city. Once a small fishing town and rose to prominence in the late 16th century. Today is a metropolis stand on the Wisła River in the east central Poland with a population of 1.8 million. With so many friends ready to welcome you, let's get started. Pleasant flight. That's pretty nice, and I'm sure everyone's excited to get off. That being said, I think my journey here is just the beginning. So, with that being said, get my bags and let's head out. Now, immigration control, and we are on our way to the hotel. Most likely, your connecting flight is under 24 hours. Therefore, only very few countries require a transit visa. So, have your passport ready. Just a warning, the Wi-Fi here really hard to connect. There's a coffee shop right down there, so hopefully we can connect through there. The reason I need it is, first of all, I need to find the bus information getting downtown, and number two, exchange rates. Now I've been looking around all over the place to see what ATM they have, and this is the only one I can find. This is a private ATM. It's going to cost you an arm and a leg in terms of service fees, so I don't recommend it because this is only a layover. You're most likely not going to spend more than something like $50 to $100. Given the fact that it's so little, really doesn't make much difference if you just go to an exchange place. Yes, the rate sucks, but come on, like less than $100 doesn't make that much difference. Now, after looking at the spread here at the exchange, honestly, it's absolutely victorious. But I think there might be some ATM outside the arrival gate. Let's have a look. There you go. Whew. And there's also another exchange place over there as well. Honestly, if you really need the cash, then just go and exchange it there. Look, like there's no other like ATMs. I decided I'm just going to like go and take a bus, and how I'm going to pay for it is by credit cards. Actually, the smarter way is to use a debit or credit card to pay for the bus fare to get to the city center. This is also the best and the most inexpensive way to get around the city. From there, you'll find a lot of ATMs without fees. If you're offered a predetermined exchange rate, refuse it and just go with the flow. If you're going to use a bus option, then take the bus 175 because it takes you non-stop directly to the old center. This ride should take more than 30 minutes. If it takes more than 30 minutes, then you did something wrong. Most likely, something wrong bus. Alright, so I'm getting up next. Everything's around this area when it comes to old town attractions. The best place to stay for a long layover is to sleep for free at the local McDonald's. Just joking. I mean, staying near the old town. It's walking distance to most of the historic landmarks. You can easily get there by getting off at the last stop for bus 175 directly from the airport. Sadly, I was exhausted from my flight, so no picking out lovely Polish ladies. What I really need is a good night of good sex. I mean good rest. Because I'm going to get up early next morning. After all, unless you can slow down the clock, 5 hours isn't a lot of time to see the city. If you got a few dollars, you got bike share all of the city. Even better if you got a smartphone. Check this out. There's line bikes and boat bikes. They are scooters parked all over the city. I think this might be a great choice getting between the attractions since it saves you lots of time without waiting for buses or more expensive taxis. With that being said, I think we reached our first place, the Presidential Palace here in Warsaw. Since 1994, the Presidential Palace has been the official seat of the President of the Republic of Poland. It's the largest palace in Warsaw, consists of a 4-story main body and 2 lower side wings. The palace was rebuilt many times. In front of the Presidential Palace, there is a monument of Prince Józef Pomorski sitting on a horse and holding a sword in his right hand. Visiting the Presidential Palace is possible for organized group from Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. The tour is free, guided, and takes about 60 minutes. The Presidential Palace, there is a beautiful church here. It's actually a cemetery for priests, and I hope it's open because it looks really nice outside. The beautiful architectures. The official name is a Church of the Assumption of Mary and St. Joseph the Bridegroom, commonly known as a Carmelite church. This Roman Catholic church is Warsaw's most noble neoclassical facade, created in 1761 to 83. Although it is one of the most beautiful churches in Warsaw, it is rarely shown or mentioned by the people of Warsaw in the local city guides. The present church is a second building to arise here, erected over the site of a wooden church originally constructed for the Desiccal Carmelite order in 1643, and burned down by the Swedes and Brandenburg Germans in the 1650s. The main altar is that of St. Joseph from the 18th century. Before that, there were already 2 altars here. The first altar, the painting of Joseph and the Christ child remained. From the second, the figure of St. Teresa and St. John of the Cross. In 2012, the altar of the St. Joseph was renovated. Behind the altar, another fresco from the second half of the 17th century was found and believed to be from the first phase of construction, but was not finished because of Polish-Swedish War interrupted the construction work. Less than 10 minutes on foot is another important landmark and monument in Poland, the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, located at Pilsudski Square. I think it's changing of the flag. The soldiers marching on. Not too sure what this is. So now I know what the 2 soldiers are marching over for is actually the changing of the guard, not for the flag, but for the Tomb of the Unknown Soldiers. There's like internal flames right there, and this commemorates those who fought during the World War I and World War II. The monument is the only surviving part of Saxon Palace that occupied the spot until World War II. Since November 2nd, 1925, the tomb houses the unidentified body of a young soldier who fell during the defense of WAW. The Infernal Flame is accompanied by 3 companies of 1st Guard Battalion representing the Honor Guard Regiment of the Polish Armed Forces. It is there that most official military commemoration take place in Poland and where foreign representatives lay wreath when visiting the country. The changing of the guard takes place every hour, 365 days a year. Adjacent to the monument and facing the Warsaw Square is the oldest public park in the city, the Saxon Garden. Founded in the late 17th century, it was opened to the public in 1727 as one of the first publicly accessible parks in the world. The Saxon Garden was originally the site of the Warsaw fortification and of a palace built in 1666 for the powerful Oscarite John Andreas Morton. The garden was extended in the reign of King Augustus II, who attached it to the Saxon axis, a line of parks and palaces linking the western outskirts of Warsaw with the Vistula River. During the 19th century, it was turned into a romantic English-style landscape park. Destroyed during and after the Warsaw Uprising, it was partially reconstructed after the World War II. As you can all see, the flags of Ukraine and as well as the color of the country, blue and yellow, is scattered all over the city. This is to show the unity and support in this Russian invasion. Poland has taken in more than 2 million refugees so far, and the number, it will just keep growing every single day. So I encourage all of you guys to come to Poland to support their businesses, since they are doing so much for the people of Ukraine. Next, let's get high up. We are heading to the 2nd tallest building in Warsaw and 6th tallest in the European Union, with a total height of 237 meters. So, let's get our ladders and get ready to climb up. Okay, just joking. Get ready to walk 10 minutes on foot. So I heard a lot of great things about the Palace of Culture and Technology, and I really want to go and take a look. They have so many entrances, but all of them are pretty much shut because you can only get in the designated ones for visitors. This mega complex houses the various public and cultural institutions such as cinemas, theaters, libraries, sports clubs, university facilities, and authority of the Polish Academy of Science. As I'm waiting to go up to the terrace, I decided I have to find a way to support the local economy. Hey, I like to lead by example, and my favorite way is to eat and eat more. And over here in Poland, even in major cities such as Warsaw, things are not expensive compared to our American standards. And so what I'm having is a croissant actually, and also a coffee. Together it costs less than $4, and your money really goes a long way. With that being said, let's eat. Salmon and cucumbers and vegetables. Alright, got my tickets. 20. That works out to be like 4 something. Alright, so and then let's go in here, see my tickets. The palace also houses the tallest clock tower in the world until the installation of a giant clock on NTT Tomoko Yoguchi building in Tokyo, Japan. I just wish one thing is they don't have all these barricades here because else you can get a really nice photo in the background. But you can put your camera out in between those the fence and still get like a panoramic of the city. This is 360 right here. The Palace of Culture and Science is a highly controversial building for some, and is often viewed as a reminder of Soviet influence over Polish People's Republics, especially due to its construction during the mass violation of human rights under Joseph Stalin. The building was originally known as Joseph Stalin Palace of Culture and Science, but in the wake of de-Stalinization, the dedication to Stalin was removed. The construction started in 1952 and lasted until 1955. This is a gift from Soviet Union to the people of Poland. The tower was constructed using Soviet plans by 3,500 to 5,000 Soviet workers and 4,000 Polish workers. 16 workers died in accidents during the construction. As you can see, in the concrete barricades, there's a lot of coins being scattered. And the reason people throw the coins there is they are hoping to get their wish come true. Does that work? Well, maybe I should do it and let you know in the future. Fingers crossed. Now, as you can see, the Palace of Culture is right there, and right across here is the metro station. And this is where we're going to head off to the Old Town Square. Let's go. We just need to take one station, so hopefully it's going to be really fast. It says up there 5 minutes. Not quite. We also needed to transfer onto a horse, I mean a bus. But the total journey takes less than 15 minutes. Not so bad for a layover. Not expensive either. Alternatively, there's also a tram stop about 5 minutes walk from the Palace of Culture and Science, and the tram number 4 will take you directly to Old Town in about the same amount of time. It is. So you can already see the architecture here, and look at that. It looks fabulous. Go and check it out. Oh my goodness, look at this. Old Town Warsaw. It's beautiful. Look at the architecture as well. It's The Old Town is the oldest part of Warsaw and one of the most prominent tourist attractions in the city. Established in the 13th century and initially surrounded by earthwork rampart. Prior to 1339, it was fortified with brick city walls, and some portions still remain standing. I have to be honest with you, I don't know anything about this. I didn't have enough time to do the research, but let's go and have a look downstairs. Might as well. It is believed the construction started around 1280 AD with the material coming from the grand opening of the first Home Depot in medieval Poland. Just joking. The wall comprised of two lines, inner and outer, with several gates around the city. It originally rise between 13th and 16th century, then rebuilt in 1950 to 1963, partly later. The wall is around 1200 meters in length, encircled a surface of 8.5 hectares. The fortification includes numerous towers and turnrets, with majority of them have a rectangular shape. Some of them has a window. Have a look inside. The inner ring was built before 1339. In the recent history, there was an attempt to renovate the wall. First took place in 1936. In October 1938, the uncovered section of the wall was unveiled in a special ceremony. After the World War II, the reconstruction work proceeded in 1953 to 1954. However, concerning only particular interesting and attractive sections. For example, the barbicans. Next to the wall is a castle square used to belong to the king. The building was surrounded was created during the time when the castle was extended, during the reign of King Zedmund III Warsaw, which is memorialized in 9-foot sculpture. This Baroque monument is unique in Europe as it departs from the traditional model of ruler's monument. The statue monument was created by Clement Monti and erected in 1644. It is the oldest and one of the most symbolic landmarks of the city and the first secular monument in form of a column in the modern history. On the east side of the square stands a loyal castle reconstructed after the devastation of World War II. It was formerly the residence of the Duke of Mądrzejów and then the Polish kings and Grand Duke of Lithuania from the 16th to 18th century. The German bombed and blew up in the beginning of the World War II on September 1939, and then it was completely destroyed in 1944 to 1945. Another important monument located nearby commemorates Jan Skaliski, a shoemaker by trade. He commanded the Warsaw Uprising of 1794 against a Russian garrison station in Warsaw. If you don't know about this, now you know. The old town is actually a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And if you need to find your way, there's a little miniature outline of the town here. It's pretty big. You definitely need at least a couple hours to thoroughly enjoy it. That being said, I think I need to head back to the airport soon. Let's see what else we can fit in last minute. So I'm going to go into one of the streets. You know, one thing I find is so colorful here. All those buildings, so colorful. And the thing I really like about this, it make you feel like really you're in an old town. We went back on time. The town originally grew around the castle of Duke of Mądrzejów and later became the Loyal Castle. The heart of the area is an old town marketplace, rich in restaurants, cafes, and shops. It originated in the late 13th century at the time the city was founded. The houses around it represent the Gothic style until the Great Fire of 1607, after which it was rebuilt in the late Renaissance styles and eventually in late Baroque style by the Telman Gaimanski in 1701. Immediately after the Warsaw Uprising, the marketplace was systematically blown up by the German army. After the World War II, it was restored to its pre-war appearance. The current building was reconstructed between 1948 to 1953 to look as it did in the 17th century, when it was mostly inhabited by the rich merchant families. The bronze sculpture The Warsaw Mermaid by Constantine Haga has stood as a symbol of Warsaw since 1855. However, this imagery had been used since at least mid-14th centuries. The first known usage was on a seal from 1390. Gradually, the male head and body was replaced by a female, and by the end of the 16th century, the tail was also changed from the that of a dragon to that of a fish. The Old Town is also home to St. John's Archcathedral. The church has been listed by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site. Originally built in the 14th century in Masovian Gothic style, the cathedral served as a coronation and burial site for numerous Polish dukes. The church was rebuilt several times, most notably in the 19th century. It was preserved until the World War II. We will end our layover on a high note above the Old Town. The bell tower of St. Anne's Church will get you a spectacular view of the city along with all the beautiful Polish ladies below. Great. The viewing terrace is like only 10, so I'm gonna get the ticket and let's go right up. Got my ticket, yes it is, so exercise. Watch your head. Here. Hey, we're almost there. Yes. Voila! There you go. We made it. Now let's enjoy the views before wandering north. The St. Anne's Church is one of Poland's most notable churches with a neoclassical facade. The church ranked among Warsaw's oldest buildings. Over time, it's seen many reconstructions, resulting in its present-day appearance, unchanged since 1788. The bell tower of St. Anne's Church, called Lighthouse of the Third Millennium, was built in 2002. Its top consists of 4 bells from 1723 and 1777. 2 of them were saved by the locals from looting. The neo-Renaissance style of the new bell tower located next to the church was to draw inspiration from the previous wooden and then brick tower. What a view here, honestly. But I'm running out of time. I do have to get going. I think it's really moving and touching actually to see so many people are in support of people in Ukraine. I mean, 2 million refugees and counting. I mean, you have to give Poland some credit for able to do that. In 4.5 hours, we're able to cover so much, and I credit that to Warsaw's public transportation system. Is just so good, and especially there's a direct bus to the airport, and it's also very inexpensive. So this is definitely an amazing city to do layover with. Oh yeah, in just 4.5 hours on the ground, I did as much as I can. However, if you go another couple of hours or so, take a 15 minutes ride on the bus 185 from the Old Town Square and get off at the Lazienki Park. Taken from the name Lazienki, or bath in Polish, it is derived from the park's centerpiece and the best known attraction, the Palace on the Island. The palace was originally built in the 17th century as a private bathhouse in a Baroque style. The loyal Lazienki Park is one of Warsaw's most culturally rich green areas.
Developed by Poland's last king, Warsaw August, the park covers 76 hectares. Today is home to not only the striking landscape but also a number of architectural treasures, including many palaces both big and small, along with summer houses, pavilions, mansions, cafes, restaurants, lakes, and a theater on the island, and much more. Sadly, I don't have the luxury of time to visit this beautiful park. I'm heading back to the airport the same way by bus 175 directly from the Old Town Square. The bus departs every 10 to 15 minutes from 4:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. daily.
I got the university station right here. This time we are taking the bus the opposite direction and to the Chopin airport. So I'm just waiting. Now, there is a machine over there. You can try to pay for it, but I tried to throw in coins, but it won't take it. So if you want to buy the tickets on the street, you may want to have a credit card just in case. But I have been told that we are able to just pay on the bus. There's a machine on the bus. Oh, I think the bus is here. Finally, bus 175 heading to the airport. Done. So this ride from the Old Town, the university station, to the airport should take roughly about 45 minutes. Sometimes there could be traffic jams, so always plan accordingly. Now, what they recommend is always arrive at the airport roughly about an hour and a half to 2 hours before the boarding time. So make sure you watch out your time because you don't want to be late. That's going to be pretty painful. With that being said, let's hope this will be a smooth, fast ride. Alternatively, you can ride a donkey back to the airport. You can take the taxi back to the airport for less than $10 or 8 euros, and it takes about 20 minutes with clear traffic. So that was actually a really smooth ride, and right here we are at Terminal A for departure back home. Yeah, let's get going. I just got through the security. Now we are heading over to 17N. Actually, no, because I'm going to business lounge. I also recommend you have a total of 8 hours in total for your layover and arrive at the airport no less than 2 hours before your departure. If you arrive back earlier at the airport, there's many lounges with showers to get you refreshed. With that being said, I hope you have an amazing layover in Warsaw. Stay safe and have a pleasant flight. See you next time. Do widzenia!